Here we go. Hey, everything on 3. Number 3. Wait on 1. Oh, wait on 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Hey, the next step from that. Eyes on 3. Everything on 3 and 1. Everything.
You are now listening to the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first ever, the pilot episode, if you will, of the Fantasy Football Bros Podcast. I am your host, Chazz Stanley, and I am joined by longtime co-commissioner of my league, Jay Coleman. Jay, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great, man. How long have we been doing this league together? It's over a decade.
Easily over a decade, but...
It's 2022, I would say 2010 or even 9.
Yeah, possibly.
I know we were in some other leagues before. A good buddy of our, James, who I'm going to force listen to this, used to be in this league and co-commish with me, and he's dropped out due to having 42 children. So what's up, James? And we took it over probably about 2010 because I remember even like back in the days of having Michael Vick in his breakout season with the Eagles. And that was like 2010, 2011, yes. Somewhere around there. And the league was already going by then.
So my first season was 2010.
Okay, so that's probably just about when you started and you suck. And no, it's funny to see Jay, because I've been playing fantasy football for a long time. I'm old school, but I'm young. Does that make sense? I just started playing young, right? So my first year playing fantasy football was, no lie, 2000. So I got a decade on you. Spoiler alert, we're from Buffalo, New York, so everybody has a man crush on Josh Allen here. And he is a great fantasy football option. So I believe he went in the first round last year.
He sure did.
Yep. So we'll see what happens later in this year. Do you remember your first ever pick?
No, I don't.
That was probably somebody like, knowing you, somebody like Matt Forte.
No way.
Rex Grossman.
Could be Rex Grossman.
So looking back this is just, like I said, this is a pilot. We're just going into our histories here. My dad used to play fantasy football in the 90s. I remember my dad when I was like 10 years old, like coming home with like yellow, like legal paper pad of like the drafts they did and stuff like that. So, and I played it so long ago that literally, shout out to my friend Dan, DJN, like I remember every Sunday, about 2003, 2004, I mean, the internet was a thing, but it wasn't like it is today. Every Sunday I had to call Dan in the morning and put in my lineup. Every week I had to call and put in a bid, or not a bid, but, for your waiver priorities to pick up players. If I wanted to trade somebody, I had to call that player, set up a trade. We both had to call Commissioner Dan. Like, what a pain in the ass.
That's Stone Age right there.
Why did people do that, right? And this was 2004, so the internet could have done it. I was already in Yahoo leagues that could have done it, but they didn't, right? So I don't know. About 2008, 2009, everything became so much easier. And so we've been doing this league. We're from Buffalo, New York, Lackawanna. It's the Lackawanna's finest league. And it all started off from an old pizzeria we were in, Bella Pizza. And some of us still work there, Jay, part-time. But we've branched out. So the way we roll our league, 12-team league. If we have to do 10, we do 10. But we've been running 12 for a while. And it's a PPR league. So a lot of stuff we're focused on is PPR league. I don't know about you, but I'm in other leagues that are half-point PPR, which is a big difference. And I don't know, have you ever done the non-PPR leagues or anything?
I have not.
So it's such a big difference on things, and you don't even realize. And, I don't think I ever want to do a non-PPR or a half-point league in our league. A lot of people like it, but there's just a certain value that I'm so used to doing PPR leagues. And then I'm in a third league every year. I'm in at least 3. And I've talked about this league before where you get a point per carry in this league. You get a half a point completion as quarterback. It's wild. A normal score in this third league I'm in is about 200-something points. So completely different, right? In these past 12 years of this league, how many championships have you won, Mr. J. Coleman? One! All right, that's more than Rico. Shout out to Rico, of course. That's more than Zach. He's not even in the league anymore. He fucking had to go and retire on us.
He was so bad he retired.
Well, that's because... Oh, he did tell me today, he's like, Zach's word of advice is in your first 2 rounds, pick a quarterback and his receiver, and they both have to be over 30. That's what is his thing, and he never won a league. Do you remember his big draft faux pas that one year that we make fun of him?
Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne.
And what happened that year?
He died.
Peyton Manning died and didn't play the whole year. So that's a shout out to Zach on that one. So now you got a brief kind of history of where we've been and how long we've been playing and whatnot. So we're going to take a break right now for our sponsors. We appreciate everyone listening, and we appreciate our sponsors. And we'll be back right after. And we're back after that awesome sponsors. Are you going to go and get yourself some Viagra after that one, Jay?
Possibly.
Yeah, that's okay. The wife's not listening, right?
Definitely not.
Well, we all know that she's the one that pulls the strings on your team anyway.
Allegedly.
What's up, Mrs. Coleman? How you doing, girl? Give Jay some advice. I'll get her on here to give some advice someday.
Okay.
That sounds better. All right. So we decided for this pilot episode what we're going to do. It is, what is this? May of 2022, right? So far away from the season. So we decided we're going to go back and review the first round of our draft from last year and talk about the picks. Maybe we'll go into the second, how they fared, and what we think. And you know what? We're also going to add on if we think this person is going to be a first-round pick. How about that?
All right.
And you're probably going to make fun of me for my first-round pick. I remember your first-round pick, so I don't think I'm going to make fun of you. Wait, do I? We'll see. Okay. 2021 first-round draft. I believe the first overall pick off the top of my head was Chad. Am I right?
I believe so. Is that...
What does it say his team name?
Christian McCaffrey, my team?
Yeah, so Chad. Christian McCaffrey, of course. First overall pick. That's how it was. Do you think he was worth the first overall pick, Jay?
No.
Why not?
Because he plays like 2 games a season.
That's very much true. If he would have been healthy, he would have been first overall material. But, I mean, is he ever?
No.
And I like I said, we know Chad very well. Chad was very salty about him being hurt. I was the one that got in early on. Actually, your brother, shout out to your brother who won the league this year, right?
He did.
In his first year or second? Second year. Second year he won the league. So, and I
taught him everything he knows.
He gets advice from me and Jay's wife, and that's how it goes. And so like that proves to you, like, I mean, I've been doing it, 20 years, more than 20 years, and the dude crushed me, right? So like, there's a such thing as getting into this quick. I think Eric still sucks, and I'm gonna stomp him this year. But like, so Christian McCaffrey, not first overall pick material. But what do you think this year? Do you think he's going in the first round?
No.
I think so.
You think? Maybe late first round.
You think late first round this year? I think McCaffrey, I haven't done my running back rankings yet. Oh, by the way, you're going to be getting homework for every episode. You're going to have to do rankings and all that stuff. So I know you didn't expect this. So
no.
Well, welcome.
But
anyway, I think he will be. I think he'll be a top 5 or 6 pick this year. But I don't think number 1.
I guess, I mean, I can see that only because we know how running backs go in fantasy. So,
and even if you get 10 games from that guy, I mean, those are 10 games. Yeah. Because even in the games he played, he was crushing it. I mean, I don't have all these advanced stats and metrics, but you just know. Christian McCaffrey was healthy. He was getting PPR points, 30, 35 points. Fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's insane. So, I think he's a first-round pick, no doubt. So, second overall pick, was that you?
Nope.
No, you weren't? Okay. So second overall pick was, what was the team name?
How I Met Your Mother.
Okay, that was the loser. 3 years in a row loser, I believe. John, right? You won, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And you beat John?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure your brother beat John this year.
Yeah, he did.
And I don't know if John... No, I think John won 3 years ago. So John...
Possibly, yeah.
John's a good player.
Yeah.
John's always formidable. So with the second overall pick, who did he take?
Dalvin Cook.
I mean... That was the easy pick then. The year before, Dalvin Cook ran you to a championship.
Yep.
So, was he worth that pick? I don't think so. I mean, looking back, I don't think so.
He's an aggravating pick, no matter what, just because he gets hurt a lot.
now that you say that, you're right, but you're wrong comparative to, like, other people.
Yeah.
Like the guy beforehand and my first round pick later in the draft that we'll talk about. So comparing him to those two guys, he's definitely on the field more.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if he was a bust at a second overall pick. I mean, and to be fair, John made the championship.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, John likes to do the 0 running back. So I'm pretty sure John's number 2 running back last year was Zach Moss for a long time. So, like, John, or no, it was Kareem Hunt. That's what John did. But I'm pretty sure John, like, went Dalvin Cook and then a bunch of other crap and then another running back later. So, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's whatever, but I think Dalvin Cook might have been worth the second overall pick last year, but I definitely think he's a first round pick this year. Would you take him in the first round?
Yeah.
I'm not talking first overall, but if you're sitting at 5, 6, 7,
yeah, you definitely got to take him.
I think so. Like, just thinking off the top of my head, let's compare the two. I think I would take Dalvin over Christian.
I would too.
Yeah.
Because, like, the thing, like, they're both injury prone, but it's like Dalvin Cook gets hurt, but, like, he doesn't miss, like, 4 weeks. He misses, like, a game.
Dalvin's the kind of guy, he reminds me of Shady McCoy too, where, and you'll remember this from having him and from us having Shady in Buffalo, where he's like the king of, like, limping off the field.
Yep.
And then running back the next drive.
Yeah.
Right? So, which is infuriating.
Yeah.
And I get that totally. So I think Dalvin's going to be a first round pick, but top 5, I would say. So who's the third overall pick team?
Biggest Dickus.
That was Lauren. Lauren's a long-time member of our league.
Yep.
And Lauren's Lauren's good. Lauren's always around. He does something stupid, I feel, all the time, and ends up losing.
Yep.
Like, that's like Lauren's, yes, Lauren, a male. Yes, that's a male name too, folks. So, in his pick, I mean, it's inarguable. I remember. Who was it?
Big Dick Henry.
Yeah. So, Derrick Henry, even though he missed half the season, I don't have the exact numbers because I didn't do any fucking research. But even though he missed half the season, he finished as like a top 15 fantasy back. That's how hot he was while he played half the season. That man is a monster. And this is the sad thing, Jay, is Derrick Henry heats up as the season goes along.
Oh yeah. Big time.
So the fact that he was like the best player in fantasy football and then he went out at halfway, what could have that season been? Right? What could have that been if he didn't get hurt?
You didn't do any research, but I'm doing research on the fly.
That's me. I'm the star. You're the nerd.
So, in his 2020 season, which I don't think he missed any games.
Yeah, I don't think he missed any games till last year.
So, he had a total points of 337.
That's a lot.
So, this past year, he missed half the season and finished at like 200.
Yeah,
So
he was on pace to just be insane.
Yeah, he was on pace to hit like 400.
And mind you, this is a PPR league, and he doesn't catch a lot of passes. But he was catching a lot of passes this year. Obviously, I don't think there's an argument that, yes, he's coming off an injury, but Derrick Henry is going to be a first-round pick. Derrick Henry, I think, is going to be a top 1 or 2 pick. I mean, what do you think? Where would you take him?
Yeah, I think he's always going to be like top 3, no matter what.
I don't know about always, because he's about... I think this is his last big year.
Yeah.
Because he's 27, about to be 28. I mean, that's kind of when they start to fall off. And he's
an animal.
He is.
His workouts.
He's something different for sure.
Yeah.
He is probably like my favorite player in the league to watch is Josh Allen. But he might be my number 2 to just watch. And the funny thing is I've never had him in fantasy football.
I don't think I have either.
3 teams every year, never had fucking Derrick Henry. So if I have a top 2 pick, and that's why, because I fucking never do. We'll get into that.
Oh, we will get into that.
I never have a top. Well, that's a lie. That is a lie because I had one 2 years ago, and we'll get into that. So Derrick Henry, in my opinion, Derrick Henry is going to go number 2 in most leagues. I think number 1 we're not going to talk about necessarily. I think number 1 is going to be Jonathan Taylor. I think
JT.
Yeah, but we're not going to get into him. So we'll move on to the 4th overall pick in our league. What's the team?
That would be Rico.
Oh my God, Rico! Preemptive warning, everybody. Rico, great friend of ours, But he's the guy that everyone picks on, right? We love him. It's all kind-hearted, but Rico fires back. So, and I plan to have Rico on the show sometime if he'd like to be on the show sometime. That would be fun. Rico's the guy we always pick around with. And why did this picking on Rico start with fantasy football? What is the beginning of picking on Rico for fantasy football, if you remember?
The beginning was Rico decided to use Ask Madden app for his first ever draft.
So not only does Rico, we're sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was. We're doing our draft. We always do an in-person draft because they're the best. They're the best thing to do with your friends and get together and have fun. Rico's using this Ask Madden app, we call it. I don't even know what it was. It was just some random app. This was his first year ever. And do you remember the pick we made fun of him for the most?
I don't.
I believe it was Wes Welker, but he was like 95 years old at the time. And Wes Welker had like his best season ever. In this guy's first year with his Ask Madden app, where did he finish? Do you remember?
Probably last.
Second place.
Oh.
He made it all the way to the championship, right? I make good trades. There is easily equal number of times that I have made a trade and won, and there's way more times where I trade away and the fucker goes crazy for somebody else. We'll talk about worst and best trades ever. So I'm sorry. We're just picking on Rico so much. Who was his pick?
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara, 4th overall. Great pick. You think, right? Going in. Alvin Kamara the year before won me 2 leagues. Almost won me a third. I almost won 3 leagues the year before. Because of that Christmas game 2 years ago, Alvin Kamara had 6 touchdowns. So, insanity. Alvin Kamara had a down year. And a lot of that has to do with Drew Brees not being there. And the reason Alvin Kamara was so good the year before is because Drew Brees washed up and couldn't throw the ball far. And would throw the ball 2 feet away to Alvin Kamara. Funny story is I traded for Alvin Kamara in this league at the end of the season. And he was meh. You know, I got rid of Elijah Mitchell and somebody else for Alvin Kamara, and Elijah Mitchell was better. So again, Rico's fucking snaked me. As fucking always. That son of a bitch. He just lays and wait. Rico's probably like a savant and knows this stuff and just waits for my trade, and he's like, that's it. That's the one I'm doing. So would you take Alvin Kamara in the first round?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I think a little later. Because you also got to remember there's some big name receivers that are going to go in the first round.
Yeah.
So, but I still think if you got to think top 12 players, you got to put Alvin Kamara in there.
Yeah.
Because there's not going to be that many more players above him. There's not going to be that many running backs above him. He's probably 5th or 6th running back when I rank him, I would assume.
Yeah.
So I think Alvin Kamara is a first round pick this year. Have you ever had him on your teams?
I don't think so.
He used to be money, but Jameis Winston's not the same. So I don't know. He's not going to check down a lot. And Alvin Kamara doesn't run the ball a lot. So that's why it's going to be a whole different scenario. So we'll move on to the 5th pick. Who was the 5th pick of the draft?
Zach.
He wasn't even there for this, I remember, because Zach, unfortunately, at the draft, I believe, had COVID, right? And he couldn't make it. So. And he was calling in his picks. And what did he get for 5th overall? Zeke, that bust. Bust.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say because he's still good, I think. He's not old. He's like, I think 28. I think he's the same age as Henry, 28. Yeah, you think he's older because he's been so good for so long. That's the big thing. So I've had Zeke before. Zeke also broke my heart one year because I had him that whole suspension on and off year. Remember that?
Yeah.
So he was going in and out of suspension and all this shit. So like Zeke's broken my heart before. So ever since then I tend to stay away from him. So I don't think Zeke is not a first round pick by any means. I wouldn't be surprised if Zeke doesn't go in the 2nd round this year. And I can promise you, unless he's like super late, like 4th, 5th round, Zeke would not be on my team. What do you think?
Well, I personally stay away from all Cowboys players because I think they all suck. So,
bro, they beat us in the Super Bowl 30 years ago. Get over it.
Whatever.
The Cowboys are going to be an interesting offense. I don't know how I feel about them, and I never do. I don't know how I feel about Dak. I don't know how I feel about Zeke. I didn't like Amari Cooper, but he's gone. So yeah. I just don't know how I feel about them. So
yeah, their offense is always like, eh.
No, sometimes it's crushing, but it's just like
but like every time I don't know. When I always like think about like their offense when it comes to fantasy, I'm always like, eh.
Yeah, like anytime like they're on my board, like your best player available is Amari Cooper. Nope. Every time I just will pass on him every single time. So, and him being out of there and him being in Cleveland, here's a hot take, and nobody's gonna want to believe this. And you can put this on record, people. I'm putting my name on it. All right, Cleveland Browns fans, you went from Baker Mayfield and OBJ to Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper. You guys downgraded. You heard it here, folks. Those are both a downgrade. I'm telling you, both a downgrade, and we will. I guess we'll find out. No, we won't, because I don't think Deshaun's going to play this year.
Well,
they don't think Deshaun's going to play this year. Did you see how his contract's set up?
Yeah, they purposely did that so he doesn't have to pay any money.
Because they know he's not going to play this year, I think.
Well, yeah, that too, but they also...
I just don't
think... When you're re-signing a guy and you're like, hey, we're going to circumvent the salary so you don't have to pay a dime, basically, to when you're suspended, regardless how long it is, which I think is absolute bullshit.
And I don't think he's worth it. I don't.
He's not worth all that guaranteed money.
He's not. I don't think he might be a top 10 quarterback. Might. Okay, he's probably a bit better than Baker, but still, like, I don't even know if he's a top 10 quarterback. Just in general, I'm not talking fantasy. Fantasy-wise, you guys should not put Deshaun Watson on any team because he's probably not going to play. And if he does play, it's probably going to be 5 games.
Maybe. Well, you never know with the NFL. They might be like, oh, he's suspended for 2 games, you know.
Well, we'll have to see.
Unless it's like weed, then it's, you know.
Well, not anymore.
You miss like the whole season.
Not anymore. That was back with... It took away some careers. Justin Blackmon.
Yeah.
You know, Josh Gordon's the popular one. So...
Plus, if you think about it, if Watson doesn't play this year, that's basically 2 years
of his
football that he didn't play.
Yeah, and I just don't think he's worth all that money. I mean, that dude's getting more money than Josh Allen. Are you kidding me?
And it's all guaranteed.
Are you kidding me? Like, he ain't worth it. He ain't worth it. And I'm just waiting to see Lamar Jackson, because how does he not have a deal yet? I don't understand how Lamar Jackson doesn't have a deal yet. That baffles me.
Who's better, Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson?
I'd rather have Lamar Jackson. I'm not talking about civil suits and any of that stuff. If you're talking about playing on the field, Lamar Jackson is more dynamic and has just as good as an arm as Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, I guess... you know what Deshaun Watson had? Deshaun Watson had a prime Nuke Hopkins, and Lamar's never had that.
Yeah,
that's the only difference. So, we went into a diatribe there on something. Who were we talking? Oh, Zeke. Yeah, Zeke. Yeah. Zeke. I don't want to say sucks, but kind of sucks. And plus, Tony Pollard needs to do his work a lot. So, do not draft Zeke in anything of the first or possibly even second round, folks. So, who did we have next?
Jones in for a championship.
Who the hell was that? My sister. That was my sister, Lisa. My sister, Lisa. What's up, Lisa? Yeah, we got girls in our league. Girls play fantasy football too, y'all. My sister's been playing a long time, and she was my partner for a long time. She's got her own team. She got no championships yet, and I believe her name. So was it Aaron Jones? Was that Aaron Jones? I think he was a good first round pick last year. I mean, how could he not be a good first round pick this year? Think about what Aaron Rodgers has to work with. Not much. Right? Nothing? But you know why he's got nothing? Because he's greedy, and I get it. Make your money. So I can't necessarily shit on it. But the dude went from bitching and whining about not having any talent to demanding such a high contract that like 2 days later they fucking traded away your best thing because they didn't have the money. That's on him. So he can bitch and whine all he wants that they don't draft. They drafted an early receiver this year. Okay. But still, that's on him. And the simple fact that you're going to bitch and whine about not having any first or second round receivers and nobody's doing this and I'm Aaron Rodgers, look at my cool hair. Oh, why? Because they picked defensive players and you guys got a good defense? Why don't you tell me the best offense in who was the best offense in the NFL last year?
The Bills.
Okay. How many first round, other than Josh Allen, how many first round, second round offensive players did we have? Skill position. 0. Diggs was like 5th round. Davis was like 4th, 5th round.
Diggs was traded for too, so
right.
They didn't draft him.
Sure, but I'm just in general. It's about they talk about that, right? Emmanuel Sanders was a late thing. Cole Beasley was a late draft pick. So like, this is your time, Aaron Rodgers. If you're as good as you think you are, and Aaron Rodgers is good. Okay, yes, we know that. Yeah, well, now you got nothing to lean on, bro. Make people, because Josh Allen made all these people. I'm interested to see how like Tyrique Hill is going to be in Miami, because who made who? Because Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes both kind of exploded on the scene at the same time.
Yeah.
Who made who kind of thing, right? So it's interesting to see. I think Aaron Jones is well worth a first round pick this year because they got nothing.
Yeah.
And if you're scared, are you scared of his backup?
Aaron Jones?
Yeah.
Who is it?
The big guy. AJ Dillon, that's his. Are you scared of him at all?
Yeah, definitely. I think I would be. He's younger. He's a monster, so I think he's definitely going to compete.
Well, yeah, he was their second round pick 2 years ago, and like he's a monster. Especially, and he was having some games like in the end of the season and in the playoffs. So I understand that, but then again, who does Aaron Rodgers got? AJ Dillon's not going to catch the ball. I think Aaron Jones is going to catch the ball. So I would take Aaron Jones in the first round, and I would take A.J. Dillon like in the fourth or fifth, honestly.
Yeah.
I think you can support both of them because Aaron Rodgers ain't got much.
He's got nothing.
I don't got much.
Which is ironic, too, for him because he spent so much time bitching about, like, team first stuff and, like, all this shit, and then he's like, all right, I want the most money possible.
Do you like Aaron Rodgers personally as a person? Because I kind of am over him. I'm over him.
He's weird at this point.
He's just a douche.
Yeah.
He's a douche, and I just like. This is how Aaron Rodgers press conferences go. They win. You know, he has a good game. He's like, yeah, the team's built really good, and like I'm Aaron Rodgers, and I don't have to throw. You know, I can just throw to anybody. And then they have a bad game. He's like, well, team doesn't give me any help, and we're losing games, and blah 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 blah. I think he's just. I hate him.
Yeah.
And he should not have been NFLP. He should not have been NFL MVP 2 years ago. Should have been Josh Allen. And he should not have been NFL MVP last year because it should have been Tom Brady. How the hell does Aaron Rodgers win NFL MVP with less wins, less yards, less touchdowns than fucking Tom Brady? How does he win it? It's so weird.
Who knows?
So weird. Diatribe. Sorry. Okay, who is the next? Get used to these diatribes, folks. Next team was... Which pick is this?
7. Donnie.
Old man Donnie. I don't think Donnie's got a win under his belt yet.
No.
He's been there before. I know for a fact that I beat Donnie in the championship. Bitch! So Donnie's been in the league a long time. 7th pick. I remember this one. Let's say it at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Josh Allen. There's your Bills pick. Here's the thing, though. I never will take Josh Allen in the first round, but he's damn near worth it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're going to take a quarterback in the first round, yeah, he's definitely in consideration.
I don't recommend it, but if you think you're a really good fantasy football player, right? And this goes for tight ends in the first round, too. I mean, the only one really is Travis Kelce, nowadays. But, like, or Mark Andrews, maybe. But, like, if you think you're a really good fucking fantasy football player and you want to take Josh Allen, Travis Kelce in the first round, and you can make up for it later in the draft, then by all means do it. I don't recommend it by any means to do that. Maybe you can get away with it in the second round, but 7th overall, middle of the draft, I don't recommend it. I don't think it's a good move, and I know we live in Buffalo. I would take Josh Allen in the middle of the draft in like one of my leagues just to like have him.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to, especially in our leagues. And frankly, if you guys are listening in different cities and stuff, you're probably going to have to take him in the first round because a lot of people are going to jump on him.
Yeah.
Right? I just don't think it's worth it. I know you're kind of on the same boat with me of not taking a quarterback that early.
Yeah. I always wait. And I've had pretty good success doing it, so I mean...
Well, you've drafted Ben Roethlisberger 42 times.
I've also been to the playoffs like 42 times.
Now, here's the question. What round are you taking Ben Roethlisberger this year? He probably have a better year this year. Now that he's retired.
He would have a better year this year since he retired and Pittsburgh Steelers are like, oh, we're going to go and improve our offensive line and our fucking weapons.
We're Ben Roethlisberger fans over here. He's good. But I do not recommend taking a quarterback that early. So, but if you're going to do it, he's the guy.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't think he was a bust pick, though.
No.
Because Donnie did pretty good. He also had Cooper Kupp, I believe. So that helps out. Here's the thing, though. I do think Josh Allen's going to go in the first round of a lot of drafts. So I just don't think it's the right move.
I mean, he put up 420 points.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, man.
So
yeah. Hey, man, Josh Allen, you're my favorite quarterback, man. Oh, shit, man. Oh, my God. What are we doing on this podcast, bro? Okay, so we'll go on to the 8th pick. Who's that?
That would be the championship winner, my brother.
Ugh. Do we have to talk about his team?
No. Fuck him.
Fuck him. I don't remember his first pick. Who was it?
JT.
Okay, well, there's
Justin
a start.
Timberlake or
Justin Timberlake.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Either one, bro. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, monster, mini monster. He's like little Derrick Henry. He's like Derrick Henry Jr., right? Little Derrick Henry, like baby Derrick Henry. Awesome player. I think 90% going to go first overall. And your brother dominated because of 2 players.
Yep.
And it was Jonathan Taylor and his 14th round pick of Jamar Chase.
Yep.
Who are both going to go in the top 10, 5. Top 5 maybe this year.
Probably, yeah.
Right? So good looks to him. He did good. Fuck you, Eric.
I will say this. If JT follows his trend, he's on pace to put up over 500 in our league.
There's no way, though.
No, but I mean, if he continues that, because he basically increased 100 every year.
Jeez. What a player. And your brother got lucky. Yeah, we're preventing here. Your brother fucking got lucky because that was his second year. His first year, he didn't know jack shit about football, and he picked Jonathan Taylor late, and that's the only fucking reason he would have taken him there, because he wasn't going there. He was going a little later.
Yeah.
And your brother just jumped up and took him because he was familiar and comfortable with him. And fuck you, Eric. Bitch.
Yeah.
We're coming for you this year. All right, what was the next pick?
Password is Taco.
All right, that was Dave. Dave is another. Well, Dave's a friend of mine, and I'm in his league. He's a really good player, and he's got a league that I usually dominate in. And Dave was up. Dave's a good player. Dave was pretty much first place most of the year, I think, or maybe that was last year.
He's the guy called the career fantasy football player.
Yeah, you think he's just a ringer? He's pretty much a ringer. But I was the ringer in his league. So who did he pick at? What, ninth?
Travis Kelce. Yeah,
right,
ninth.
Okay, so we mentioned this earlier. Kelce last year, and I also took Kelce for my other 2 teams in the first round last year because I thought I was good enough to overcome it, right? And I am, and I'm not. And here's what I mean by that. So the other league, I took Kelce, and Dave's league, I took Kelce first round, and I was great in that league. It was one of those leagues where I fucking play the best team every week, right? So I ended up being 5-9 in that league and missed the playoffs, but I had 3rd highest score. Sometimes that's how fantasy falls. The other league, I took Travis Kelce in the first round. I ended up with 2 losses on the regular season because I felt I would have been good enough to overcome that, and guess what? I did. So if you're going to take Travis Kelce early, you need to be ready. Now, he kind of had a down year, but I mean, his down year, I think he still finished as the number 2 tight end. So I think Mark Andrews was number 1, and then he was there. So the thing about taking Kelce early is you have that positional dominance over anybody else, mostly every week. Travis Kelce is probably going to outscore. Who was your tight end? Do you remember?
No.
Exactly, right? So there's that.
Well, because I fucking draft George Kittle, and
that was your tight end, right? And he was hurt half the year. Travis always
all
plays.
Year.
Travis always plays. My tight ends in this league were Gronk, who was great but hurt a lot, and it was whatever that dude is from the Rams, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Higbee.
Yeah.
Right? Who would you rather have? Kelce, right?
Yep.
So it gives you that thing. But the problem is if you're looking at the first round, though, we really only said Zeke's a bust. Everyone's been pretty good.
Yeah.
And Kelce was good too. So it's a gamble. But I am usually pro Kelce in the first round, late in the first round. But the scary part is Hill's gone. So it's either he's going to be Mr. Dominant, I'm getting fucking 900 receptions, or now everyone's going to double team him.
No, he's going to get double teamed.
You think that's what's happening? But Patrick might be good enough to make it happen.
We'll find out if he's good
right?
enough.
This is interesting. He is a Kelsey's a very interesting player for me. As of now, I would shy away from Kelsey in the first round.
Yeah.
But I could see him going second, and I would be okay with it. I'd take him second. So
it's going to be an interesting year too. Anyway, just for us as Josh Allen fans, we're going to find out if Mahomes is the real deal.
I understand, but he is. I mean, he is. He's got a great arm, but so like Josh Allen when he was young, he was like, this fucking wild horse, man. That was just, and they tamed him, right? Pat Mahomes is like, I feel Pat Mahomes is going opposite. Pat Mahomes was tame, and now he's getting cocky, and he's doing his no look passes and all this shit, and that's gonna come back to bite him.
Yeah,
he's running more now. He's doing. You're supposed to go the other way. I'm not saying he's regressing or he's getting worse. He's just getting.
He's
sloppy.
he's making poor choices where Allen has been, for the most part, making better choices.
And they've been on the same path, basically, because Mahomes didn't start until 2018, and that was Allen's rookie year. And it seems like one's going up, and one's getting sloppy, and one's getting more refined.
Yeah.
So, Chiefs are interesting this year, but I would shy away from Kelsey in the first round. Would Kelsey be your first tight end?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think so. You got Andrews, you got Kittle.
Fuck George Kittle.
You got Andrews, you got Kittle. You still got Waller.
Yeah.
And Waller could be a big time with Adams going over there, taking some of that coverage. Watch out for the Raiders, folks.
I think top three is probably going to be Andrews, Kelsey, Waller.
You think Andrews is going to go first? He had the better year.
Possibly.
But he's in the same position. They don't have Hollywood Brown anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So it's interesting to see. But let's move on to pick, 10 now?
Yep. That would be yours truly.
Oh, I thought you picked draft 6 all the time.
I usually do.
Jay?
This is the first year in 5 years that I haven't picked 6.
So last time you picked 6, how did you finish?
Second?
No.
Third?
First.
Oh, first, yeah.
And then you don't pick 6, and you suck. You didn't suck, but...
I made it to the playoffs.
So who was your pick at 10 overall?
Davonte Adams.
How do you feel about that?
Fuck Davonte Adams. But he quietly had a pretty good year.
He was great.
Yeah.
He suffered, and I remember arguing with you about this because obviously you were happy when he was doing good, and I was bitching about it. He suffered from Aaron Rodgers just peppering him with, and I don't mean to say suffered, but Aaron Rodgers just peppered him with targets. He was getting, I remember watching a game with you where he had 19 receptions or 19 targets or something like that?
Yeah.
It had to be week 6, 7, something.
Yeah, week 5, he had 16 targets.
What? Insanity. So now
week 3, he had 18.
That might have been the game, actually. Yep, I bet you that was the
Probably.
game. Yep, because we were watching it at camping.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out because then we'll get into that guy next. So Davonte Adams, first round this year. What do you think?
Yeah.
You still think so?
Probably. Yeah.
Well, what do you think? I'm not asking for your rankings. Are you going to just the best receiver last year was Cooper Kupp? Are you taking Kupp over him?
No.
You wouldn't take Kupp over Adams? You would still take Adams?
Or wait, no, I would take.
You would take Kupp?
Yeah.
What about Chase?
I would take Chase, I think, over Kupp.
What about Jefferson?
I don't know.
So you're putting Davonte around that spot?
Yeah.
What about Diggs?
I'd probably take Diggs.
You pick Diggs over Adams?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's easily top 5-ish. Yeah. Okay, so interesting. I don't know.
Adams is going to be on a new team, too, so...
Yeah, but people sleep on Derek Carr, bro.
Yeah.
They sleep on him. Think about this, and here's another... remember, when Russ got traded over to the AFC West, and people were posting those memes of, the 3 cute girls and 1 ugly girl, and it was Mahomes, Herbert, Russell Wilson, and then the ugly girl was Derek Carr. Fuck them people, first of all. Because Derek Carr is one of the most solid, top 10 quarterbacks in this league. You want to talk about, the Raiders win this division. The Raiders could very well be in the AFC Championship game against the Bills, depending how things shake out. The Raiders are a better team than the Chiefs. The Raiders are a better team than the Broncos. Chargers? I don't know yet. Okay, so there's that.
Don't be dissing my boy.
I know you're a Herbert guy. And I'm a Herbert guy too. Did you see he just overtook Josh Allen as MVP favorite?
Fuck Justin Herbert.
But if you want to talk about the Raiders, who do they have? Derek Carr. Okay, so Derek Carr, if you think Derek Carr sucks, you don't watch football. Okay, Derek Carr's fine quarterback. They have Davonte Adams, Hunter Renfrow. They have Darren Waller. They have Josh Jacobs. They had the sack leader last year in Max Williams. They just added Chandler Jones. Like, this team is bringing the fire.
We also have to remember last year they were pretty good, and they had Zay fucking Jones as a wide receiver.
Exactly.
So.
And so they added all that shit, and then remind me, did the Raiders make the playoffs?
Yes.
And they lost in the first round on a last-second tip pass to the Bengals, who went to the fucking Super Bowl. So if that pass doesn't get tipped, who knows what happens, right? So don't sleep on the Raiders, folks. Don't buy into this Russell Wilson to the Broncos is going to be a big thing. This is my opinion. This is Chazz talking. Value Raiders more than anybody on the Broncos. Except, I mean, Russell Wilson, of course, and maybe Javonte Williams, but don't think that, like, Jerry Jeudy is going to be a better receiver than fucking Davonte Adams or something stupid.
If Jerry Jeudy plays this year.
That's true. Or your boy, Cortland Sutton. Moving on.
He's dead.
Another diatribe, man. These are going to be fun. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Diatribe Podcast. What the hell were we talking about? Davonte Adams. So you're taking him possibly in the first round.
Yeah.
Top 5 receiver, depending on what
possibly
goes.
Yeah.
I still would. I would put him in my top 5 off the top of my head. I still might take Jefferson. I think I would take him ahead of Diggs, but maybe not. Maybe I'd put him at 5 after Diggs, but I think I'd still take Jefferson ahead. So I'm probably right about there. Jefferson's a maniac.
He is.
Don't forget. So, and
Cousins kind of sucks at times.
But he's great with Cousins.
Yeah.
So you have to move it up. Sorry. Who was the next pick?
Balls deep.
Balls deep. This was 11?
Yep.
I picked 12.
Yep.
Okay, Balls deep. Balls deep was a friend of mine who actually passed away during the season. Tommy, and rest in peace to Tommy. And his son Matthew took over the team and guided them to a 3rd place finish and, made some money. So it was very tragic to have that happen. And, we're going to miss Tommy, and hopefully his son comes back into the league and runs it. He's welcome, and we'll go, and rest in peace to Tommy. But who was his pick at?
Austin Eckler.
Oh, great pick. I mean, that is okay, between him and Jonathan Taylor, that was the steal of the first round for me. Because Austin Eckler, I think, finished like 2nd or 3rd in fantasy points for running backs. He went on a tear at the end of the season. You want to talk... Austin Eckler last year, folks, was what everyone thought Christian McCaffrey was going to be.
Yeah.
And he got him 11th overall, right? Fantastic pick.
Yeah, and I believe he was 2nd.
2nd, yeah, after Jonathan Taylor,
yeah.
I think. So... here's the thing that scares me about Austin Eckler. He's a little guy, but he's a machine. Have you ever seen him fucking with his shirt off?
Yeah, he's a beast.
Dude, he looks like a bodybuilder, but he's small, and like he catches the ball so much, and he had a lot of touchdowns last year. Are those touchdowns going to stick? But would you take Austin Eckler in the first round? Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm taking Austin Eckler ahead of McCaffrey.
For sure.
I'm taking Eckler ahead of I'm probably taking, just off the top of my head, Eckler's probably my 3rd running back.
Yeah.
After Henry and Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's definitely in the conversation. Like, the only one maybe is like Dalvin Cook. You might take before him, but
I don't know if I would. Maybe you would. So, but you also have you have we use the term man crush, but you do have a man crush on Dalvin Cook because he's brought you a championship before. So, I mean, I get that. I don't have that much of a man crush on Dalvin Cook, so I think I would take Eckler ahead of him. And Eckler, you think he gets hurt, but he doesn't.
No, he got hurt. Like I think he missed like 1 game.
Yeah, he goes, and like the fact that like Herbert is a great quarterback and he catches the pass, man, that was a great pick by Tommy and his son. Rest in peace, Tommy. Hopefully his son comes back in the league and doesn't win because I want to win. So, who was the last pick of the draft? Or who was the last team of the draft?
You.
No, okay. Oh, boy. And then, I know I went back to back, but I don't know what it says in there, but we'll talk about my running back.
You mean the second biggest bust of the first round?
Could even be the biggest. No, because it couldn't be. First pick of the draft, Christian McCaffrey, big bust. Last pick of the first round, I take my easy fantasy crush of Saquon Barkley. Fuck me, bro.
I tried telling you.
You did try to. Everybody tried telling me.
You were like, oh, this is going to be a great pick.
Oh, man. So confession, I have had Saquon Barkley 3 of his 4 years in the NFL. And he's only played 1 good year for me. Why do I keep doing this to myself, right? It's like abuse. I'm in an abusive relationship with Saquon Barkley.
You are.
And I still am I fiend for it? What was I hoping for at the draft?
You were all out defending him.
The Bills to trade for him, right? Like, that's what I was hoping for. We got James Cook. No problem there. I'm okay with that. But I would have loved Saquon. So I have this abusive relationship with Saquon Barkley, and I hate it. And he was a bust. But I think that man is quite possibly the most talented running back in the league if he can not be injured.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm interested to see him next year on a different team. Going to be on a different team, I'm assuming next year. He's on his last year. He's on his contract year. Which pulls me in because, motherfucker, a lot of time people are very good in their contract year.
Well, yeah, they've got something to play for.
Right? Ugh, so it's like it's pulling me in. But here's the thing. Absolutely not taking Saquon Barkley in the first round.
No.
Absolutely not. And I'm not taking Saquon Barkley in the second round probably either.
I wouldn't.
Him or Zeke.
The Giants suck too.
Him or Zeke.
Oof. It's like Zeke probably.
Oh, no way. I can't do it. I'm taking Quan over him. I'm taking Quan.
You're in an abusive relationship.
I'm taking Quan over Zeke. Here's the only light for the Giants is they got a new head coach, and we know how good of a coach that guy could be. Brian Dable, right? Helped mold Josh Allen. I don't think he's the reason Josh Allen is good, but helped mold Josh Allen. I've always said the 2 quarterbacks that remind me the most of Josh Allen were Daniel Jones and Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's good. Daniel Jones has not been good, right? So maybe, right? I'm not calling for it, but if Daniel Jones is better, maybe Saquon is better. An abusive relationship, right?
Yeah.
Also, the Giants were fucked last year. If you just think about it, no Kenny Galladay, no Sterling Shepard, no Kadarius Toney. Like, maybe they're a better team. And no Saquon Barkley. So maybe they're a better team.
Well, yeah. So if they want to be a better team, Daniel Jones has to be better.
Yes.
Because teams are going to be like, they're going to run the ball.
Right.
If he sucks.
And Daniel Jones has the chance to be better because he literally had, I think, you hear my cat, Pickles, everybody say hi, Pickles. There she is. I'm going to guarantee Daniel Jones did not play 1 game with all 3 of those receivers.
Probably.
One point where he had none of them. I guarantee it. Middle of the season. Because Galladay, I think, played a game. And Shepard went out. And Kadarius Toney went out in the middle of the season. And so did Barkley. So what? They lost your boy, Evan Ingram. I think the Giants could take a step up. I really do. I wouldn't recommend. I would say Daniel Jones maybe fire as your like second string quarterback late.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe fire that up for something. That I'm always good in that. In 2018, my second string quarterback was Patrick Mahomes. Fire it up. In 2019, my second string quarterback was Lamar Jackson. Fired it up. So it's like take that shot on one of those talented guys. But Saquon Barkley should be. I would love to have Saquon Barkley as my flex guy.
Yeah.
Right? And if he fucking kills it, if you got 2 running backs and Saquon's in your flex, and he decides to be dude, his rookie year, he had 90-something receptions.
Yeah.
And he runs. So, yes, I'm abused by him. And we won't go through, and why don't we just run through the second round? We'll just we won't talk about everybody. I know I started the second round with Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
And I feel that I was let down by that. I don't think Diggs wasn't as good as I expected, and he let me down. Second pick of the second round was
Tyreque Hill.
Tyreque Hill. Was that you? No, that wasn't.
No.
That was. I don't think Tyreek had as good as a year, but I don't think he'll have a good as a year this year either. Diggs definitely.
No, comparatively, Diggs and Hill were almost the same.
So Diggs, I think, is top 5 receiver this year. Hill would be top 10.
Yeah.
Okay, who is next? This is you?
This is me.
What'd you do? Oh, I remember.
I don't want to.
Oh, my God.
This is embarrassing now.
Antonio Gibson, right?
Yes.
I talked him up to you. I might have done that.
You probably did.
I probably did that because he was great his rookie year.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. because I always pick in a shitty spot in the draft. It's always like 6, so damn, like we went through the first round. All first 6 picks were running backs.
Okay.
So every time I pick, the running backs are already gone.
You don't have to say the name right now, but look at the next 10 picks. Did you strike out? Was there somebody you missed on?
Sure.
Okay, so we'll get to that when we get there.
Right. Not everyone would know,
If I bet you when I pick Diggs, and this is something, if you realize I started my draft, Nick fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. He
Gibson
got hurt.
was better points-wise.
He got hurt because Nick Chubb got hurt. I think Nick Chubb's a solid pick. I think Nick Chubb is still going to be a second-round pick, and he'll be fine. Who was the next pick?
Najee Harris.
And who the fuck took him?
That would be my brother.
Your fucking brother. The son of a bitch.
Three-headed monster.
Your brother just crushed it. Najee's great. Najee's going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Najee,
I would say if that was probably the biggest miss for me in the second round.
I know you can't remember, but were you even thinking about Najee
No.
there? Right. Taking rookies early, but I took Saquon 6th overall as rookie year, but it's a man crush. I think actually we kind of slept on Najee. I might take Najee above
I'm the same
Dalvin Cook.
I'm the same way too, especially when it comes to rookie running backs, where I've been burned before in fantasy by taking them. So it's like I generally stay away from them
unless you really feel something.
Yeah,
and I don't think any of these guys that were drafted. I don't really buy into Breece Hall like that. I don't buy not that he's not good. The only one that could maybe make some noise is Kenny Walker because Breece Hall went to the Jets. Fucking cares. Shout out to head of Gear Network, JC Money, big Jets fan. Sorry, bro. We're sorry, bro. You'll probably hear a lot of shitting on the Jets here, but we're Bills fans. You can come on and discuss it with us at any time. Not buying into Breece Hall anytime early. Maybe 4th, 5th round, anytime early. Kenny Walker, though, on Seahawks could be a rookie that does something because I'm sure we're just as of 3 days ago, Rashad Penny's nursing a strained hamstring, and Chris Carson's career might be over because of his neck injury.
Yeah.
So he could be thrusted into starting row. And don't sleep on James Cook, y'all, for the Bills. I mean, James Cook is going to go out there.
He's going to be competing for the number 1 spot.
Well, also, but here's the thing, too. James Cook could take over for Cole Beasley. James Cook could be your slot guy.
Yeah.
Right? And get a lot of catches. So don't sleep on James Cook. Diatribe again. Who was after that? Najee Harris.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Bust, I think. And you know why he was a bust? Because Kyler Murray sucks, y'all. You fantasy, take him. Get your points. Kyler Murray is not a quarterback in the NFL, I don't think, in 5 years.
Probably not.
I don't think so. And if somebody wanted to argue me, you answer me this question. Is Kyler Murray better than Lamar Jackson?
No.
No way. And I don't understand.
Kyler Murray reminds me of, who do we have? Yeah.
Is it Bills?
What's his name?
Tyrod?
Tyrod. He's like Tyrod 2.0.
Yeah, I mean, he's just about running wise. Yeah, I mean, he's got.
I think he's more talented than Tyrod,
yes.
But he's just not going to be good.
I don't know. Kyler, to me, has never really impressed me. And I know that's a lot, but like fantasy-wise, sure, I would start Tyrod. Tyrod. You got me. You see that? You fucking got me. Sure, I would start whatever his name is, Kyler Murray. But I just know. I don't buy it. And Nuke is obviously not going to be a 1st or 2nd round pick this year because he's suspended half the year. So Nuke, I think Nuke should be drafted, but late. And only draft Nuke if he's like your 3rd or 4th. And you feel comfortable holding him on your bench. Who is next?
Patty Mahomes.
It would be my sister, I believe.
Yep.
Mahomes in the 2nd round is an okay pick. I'm okay with Mahomes in the 2nd round. Maybe not that early. But I'm okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
for us people that don't take quarterbacks.
What is that, mid-2nd round?
Yeah.
Maybe not that early, but he had a good year. It's hard to shit on it, but I wouldn't do it. What do we got next?
Calvin Ridley. Bust.
Yeah. And we're laughing. Yes, he mixed a lot of the year with mental health issues. Sure, and we don't, we're not laughing at that, but then he goes and fucking ruins his whole year this year because of gambling. And, I mean, that's on him, dog. And they went and drafted a receiver in the 1st round. So, Drake London, I think, was the best receiver in this draft. I said that the whole time.
Yeah.
So they ended up with a good pick.
Rest in peace to Calvin Ridley.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't put that on him. So would you be drafting Calvin Ridley this year?
No.
Absolutely not. Who do you think was the best receiver drafted this year in the NFL draft? You had Drake London. You had Jameson Williams. You had you got to think about the Chiefs with Sky Moore. I'm trying to remember Cedric Wilson.
Maybe Williams.
Jameson Williams. Yeah, Williams. He went to Detroit, but they could use him.
Yeah.
And then he's like kind of a slot guy, and Jared Goff, that's okay for Jared Goff. But Jared Goff's not going to be Detroit's future. But I don't know. I like Drake London. And the Jets took Wilson, and sorry, Wilson. The Wilson to Wilson connection. I don't know if that's gonna fly. What's up, JC Money? Who is the next pick?
Joe Mixon.
That's a great pick. I bet you Joe Mixon's a first rounder this year, like end of the first round.
I don't like Joe Mixon, so.
Well, he's boring, but he gets the job done, and a lot of people are going to be high on the Bengals this year.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good pick.
Your boy took him.
Who's my boy?
Rico.
Then it's a shitty pick. Who's the next pick?
Edward Solaire.
Oh, that was a bust.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bust. I don't think he'll be a second. He'll be down there with like Saquon this year, I think.
Yeah.
Right around that point. Who we got next?
DK Metcalf.
Nope. Not going to be anywhere near that. He's got your boy, Drew Lock, throwing him the ball now.
You trying to say Lock is in a fucking Super Bowl contending fucking quarterback?
Did you just vomit in your mouth?
I might have.
Or actually, they said the front runner to win that competition is Geno Smith.
Oh,
excuse me. Okay, moving on.
Justin Jefferson.
Great pick. I mean, that guy's going to be in the top 6 of drafts, I think, this year. Good pick by Chad. Chad could have made a lot of noise if that first round pick was somebody. The first overall pick wasn't McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Right. Could have made a lot of noise there. So there we go. We went through our first 2 rounds. We're looking at about an hour here. So this is kind of where I want this podcast to be. It wasn't too much of a drag. So, I mean, looking back at it, I don't even have to look. I mean, obviously the best first 2 fucking picks were your fucking brother.
Yep.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor, Najee
You
Harris.
can honestly say he probably had the best first 2 rounds.
Oh, easily. There's no comparison. I mean, who were your first 2 picks?
Shitheads.
Gibson and Adams.
Yep.
Mine was fucking Saquon Barkley and Diggs.
Yep.
Like, no. So, shout out to Eric. Yeah, fuck you. We're gonna topple Eric this year, and it's gonna be a fun year of fantasy. We got a long time to go, so I'm gonna give you some homework. We're gonna do some things. I might throw a song on here at the end here for you guys to listen to. I might not. We'll see. I don't know. We're big. So another thing about me and Jay, we're big into music. Big, music fans and just football fans in general. So you'll get a more taste of our.
We're in a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Wrestling.
Yeah,
music.
we're big wrestling fans. So we hope to talk at the end of the podcast just about other random shit. We got nothing planned at the moment, but you'll probably hear about wrestling, music, albums, this kind of stuff coming up. So you get to know our personalities. I would also love to bring some of the guys in from the league to come and talk and make fun of each other because that's what we do. Don't think we're bullies. We do this.
Except for anyone that wins the championship, that's not us.
Fuck Eric.
Them.
Fuck Eric. Fuck your family, Jay.
I'm not giving him any more free secrets.
He's on his own now. But he is not Baby Bird anymore.
Nope.
You hear that, Eric? You ain't Baby Bird anymore. So, thanks for checking us out. Okay.
Is that the cue?
I guess so. The neighbors are mad. All right. Thanks for checking us out on the Fantasy Football Bros podcast. And come back and check us next week. I don't have a for sure day. I would like to post these on a certain day, but I don't know when it is yet, y'all. So, I am Chazz Stanley.
I'm Jay Coleman.
Thanks for checking it out, and we'll see you next week. Peace. All right, Chazz back here. So after all of that recording and editing, I realized that there was a lot of dropouts in the audio, and that's because I've got a shitty-ass computer, y'all. So if it seems lost, that's why. But that's why this is a pilot, and hopefully you still got the gist of it. And I should be getting a new computer relatively shortly, so we won't have these problems again, I hope. So I decided to add a song here at the end for you. One of my favorite songs going right now. The song is called Call Me Little Sunshine by the band Ghost. And you can hear that we're into rock and metal music here, and it's a really good tune. And hopefully you guys enjoy it, and hopefully we don't get copyright stricken. And if we do, we won't play any more music. But thanks for checking out the pod, y'all.